Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bullhucker podcast. I am Larry Moose Lundstrom.
And I'm Adam Vokey.
What's up, Adam Vokey?
Not a lot. Back again.
And back again. Where are we at, man?
We are in since it's around Halloween, the bowels and the murder chamber of the Brush Emporium.
We are in the bowels of the Brush Emporium. We laughed about that because it's a little sketchy when you first walk down here. It's just an unfinished basement, you know, and then there's like a wall that's got plastic on it, like we're going to murder you. So,
and then you walk into this.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is okay. This is all right. This is a nice place to die. But
I thought there was one night I was like walking one of our guests down here, and it was a female, and I'm thinking, I wonder what's going through her mind walking into this basement with two dudes. Yeah. And I told her, I'm like, we're not going to murder you, honest. And so,
I mean, the only saving grace is her ass is going to outrun both of us. You know what I mean? So if you can murder you got a fucking chance. But if we get a hold of you, buddy, okay, let's stop that. That's getting creepy right now. So we're creeping out our guest today. We got a returning guest.
We do have a returning guest.
We got the man here. We got Cary Kudron. How are you, dude?
Hey, man, doing good, guys. Thanks for having me back.
It's been forever, my man.
It has.
Been 121 episodes.
121 episodes. Cary, actually,
I'm honored.
Well, you actually are the one who brought one of our favorite stories of all time to this podcast. Yep. And the funny part was, it wasn't even one of his 3 stories he brought.
No.
It was a bonus.
Yeah.
It was. I just figured I'd told that story so many times that I'm sure you had probably heard it. So
I can't believe I haven't heard it. You and I have been drunk together a lot in this world.
Yes, we have.
a lot. So it's funny, early on, even lately, there's always a story that I always refer back to when people ask me about the podcast. I'm like, listen to this dude and listen to this story. The GOAT, I've told people over and over.
Yeah.
Lately, it's been Joe Machuca and that brown-eyed girl story. I always listen to that thing. It's horribly disgusting, but you don't see it coming. I promise you that. Okay. So, brown-eyed girl. It's not brown-eyed girl. I'll just say that. Okay, It's brown-eyed girl. So, it's not a love story, Cary.
Doesn't sound like it.
How have things been, man?
Crazy. Just kids at home. We had one move out. We got grandkids now. I got 4 grandkids.
Congratulations,
Thank you. It's awesome. A lot of fun, a lot of work, but they put a smile on your face. It's awesome. You forget about everything.
So it's Prim. The other daughter, I don't know.
Tilly,
okay. Mm-hmm. And I know Wild.
Wilder.
Wild. I'll never give it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Brush Beat Digger games, and I'm going to scream. I'm going to sit next to Chloe. I don't care how mad she gets. Let's go Wild.
Yeah.
Go Wild.
Oh, yeah. He'll be playing probably soon.
Yeah. Oh, he's a big kid.
He's huge.
The Hirschfeld men are all big, though, dude.
They are.
They're not little. I think John Sr. is he's a thin one, but the other Hirschfeld, they're our size.
Right.
The Hirschfelds are not little people.
Yeah, they're big boys.
Right. And the other one's Oaks.
Yeah.
Which is a great name. Good. Yeah, that's a great name.
Yeah.
But then again, so is Wild. That's an amazing name. But
you got them all. Good job.
I got them all.
Yeah.
Well, you guys post. Your wife posts about them all the time. We're very proud of them, and they're good kids. And I pop in to talk to Rick Stroh. Whenever I take my car to get service or whatever, I always pop in and talk to Rick, and then Jamie's always there. Your son-in-law. So we always kind of bullshit around. So it's cool. I don't see you guys very much anymore, though.
Yeah, I don't know why. We both stayed pretty busy. Dent's got her thing. I work quite a bit.
The closest I come to hanging out with you guys anymore is fighting with your wife online about whatever. You know what I mean? So
Brush.
The
beat diggers.
Well, that's we'll talk about that a little later. But our new fight is she joined a cult, right? Your kids joined this what do they call Swifties? Is that what they're called now?
Oh yeah.
It's like a crazy cult, right? Like they're into this.
Yeah. Big time.
I don't. You got to live there, so if you don't want to talk about this, we don't have to.
Oh no, the biggest problem I have with the whole thing, I like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she's okay.
She's a great artist.
Yeah, she got great music.
But she pissed me off when she started dating Kelsey. I can't stand that pussy.
Preach, brother, preach.
Yeah, nobody who in their right mind living out here would want to see Kelsey with Taylor Swift.
She could date a nice Denver Bronco boy.
Please.
You know what I mean?
That would change things.
Our tight end's got a great porn mustache. Dulcich. Have you seen him?
No.
Uncle Ed loves him. He's a great athlete. My Uncle Ed loves him. We got him a jersey for Christmas last year, but Ed hates when he's a Christian. So I'm like, he's got that porn mustache. He's like, it's just a great mustache. I'm like, it's a great porn mustache, dude. Taylor Swift. I saw the news because she's broke all kinds of records. Like, she's played in more stadiums than most NFL players at this point, right? She's that popular.
Yeah.
But the outfit she was wearing was this bright, shiny thing. It was cut real short, like her crown was almost hanging out. But you know what she looked like? She was dressed like the guy from Ghostbusters, the bad guy, Gozer. Are you gods? That's how that chick was dressed.
Oh, yes. I do remember that thing.
Do you know what I'm talking about now?
Yeah. Those are the Gozerian.
Gozer the Gozerian and Taylor Swift shop at the same place. That's cool. That's cool. A Mesopotamian god or whatever she was, which was one of my favorite movies of all time, by the way. So, so I know that. So, but so they're all part of the.
Oh yes,
because your wife,
big time,
on Instagram had a picture of her wearing this picture. It said, "Go Taylor's boyfriend" or something. I just wrote her like, "Why do you like to hurt me?" I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like you tried to pick a fight with me now, you know?
Oh, it's going over the same way at the house with the guys. Like John Hirschfeld, he's like, and Jamie, because Dents knows what she's doing. She's pushing buttons, and she's like, you know, really, it's done the NFL a big service because you're bringing all kinds of new fans into the NFL.
Which is true.
It's put Travis Kelce on the map.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And of course, they're not having any of that crap, you know.
Yeah. You know what's tough about having Travis Kelce on more commercials in the NFL is I'm getting tired of cleaning all the spit off my TV. You know what I mean?
I can't stand him.
I hate him. I hate him so much.
It's like Tom Brady. Same reason. It's because he's good, right?
Yeah.
And they're beating us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, they didn't yesterday. Thank you very much.
That was nice.
Yeah. But
put him on a different team. I like Kelce.
Yeah.
Put him on your fantasy football team. You love him.
Yeah.
But right now, I hate the man. I can't stand him.
It's funny. We talked about this with Nick Grantham about how a color of a jersey will sway your opinion about any human being. You know, I hated Peyton Manning with a passion, like a fiery passion, until he put an orange and blue jersey on. And I was like, Peyton.
Deion Sanders for me.
Was that what it was?
Deion Sanders, because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Right. Oh, are you? I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. That's too bad.
Me too.
Yeah, it's double too bad. But Deion was the greatest cornerback of all time, dude.
He has to be.
I mean, he was unreal, dude.
He could even hit. You know, they said he couldn't, but he wasn't the best. He wasn't a Lester Hayes or you know, but yeah, he had like 9 pick sixes in 1 year.
Oh, it was nuts, dude. He was just fat. He was just a better athlete than anybody else. You know what I mean? I mean, we had Champ Bailey, who was very good. Oh yeah, but he was no Deion. You know, I mean, there's never been another Deion. So he's like
punts. I mean, he's just a threat. Then he runs over to wide receiver. Remember, he'd do that crap. And
Yep.
Yeah, he's just a quadruple threat, not triple, but yeah.
But he's one of those assholes who went to team after team just to get rings. I hate that so much. I hate that.
Same here. No loyalty at all.
Not at all. But before we go any further in this, though, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the Bullhucker Podcast. What we do here is we bring on a guest. Today is returning Cary Kudron. Mr. Kudron. Hey, he's like Fonzie. Cary's going to tell us 3 stories about his life. Now, here's a kicker. Only 2 of these stories are true. One's either made up, borrowed, or half and half. But we've been ballsy lately, Adam and I, so we're not even going to let you tell us what it is. We're gonna ride. If it's borrowed or anything, we're just going to try and figure it out.
Tell us after.
Yeah, tell us after.
Nice. Okay.
You know what? And I got to tell you, our percentage of getting right has not improved at all. So.
Things have not changed.
No, it's
whatsoever.
We're still horrible at this shit. So
yeah, I mean that's good for you guys, but I mean honestly, it's just kind of fun hearing a good damn story too, is it not?
Yeah, you had some great stories last time you were here, but I think I got yours because it was the line dance. Yeah.
Well, and I wasn't extremely familiar with the setup, so I think I might have gave it away, but
you did give it away
a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Said something about college.
Something back in college, and it was the only college story there was.
Yeah,
you're the cautionary tale I tell people I don't.
Yeah, so I wasn't aware of that, but yes, had a great time.
It was a good time. It was a fun time. You were one of the first to do it, man. I always appreciate it. But we've become good friends over the years. So.
Oh, yeah.
And you came back for the 100th episode. Was the last time you were here.
Yeah, we had for
Dencia's birthday, because it just happened to fall in line with it. And it was your idea to put her on here and make fun of her. And she got into it. And that's when I don't usually like people to get hammered on this podcast, but that was the...
Yeah. We had kind of a double roast for her. Roasted herself for her birthday.
Yeah.
And then turn around and roast her on a podcast.
Yeah,
Why not?
Yeah, it was good.
She's good. She can take it.
Yeah, she can. And if she can't,
yeah.
Damn Colt. Anyway, so, all right. Cary, you ready to tell some stories, my man?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Perfect, man. Adam, you want to read them off?
We got None in the Chamber, Tesla, and Bed and Breakfast.
Bed and Breakfast. Well, my man, why don't you pick one out there, Mr. Adam? Or do you want to read them? Do them some order?
I don't.
You don't care?
You guys do whatever.
Okay.
I'm going to go with None in the Chamber.
None in the Chamber. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Like, what could go wrong?
You got notes. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is going to be a story about a gun or a vasectomy, but we'll find out.
There's 2 stories each.
Yeah. Love gun.
Yeah. None in the Chamber. Well, I kind of picked some stories. It's hunting season. I was real close to doing some Halloween stories, but by the time this post or whatever, and plus the Halloween stories were kind of lame.
Okay.
I ran them by my wife. She's like,
Were they haunted stories or just fun Halloween stories?
Haunted.
I'm going to ask you for a haunted story when we're done then.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it was like, it's a little sketchy, you know, so I thought it would work. She's like, nah, do this. So we're hunting.
Well, why should you come on at all, Cary? Maybe we should bring Dency on.
Hey,
cult member.
She's a joke stealer. She's a story stealer. Change her mind. Yeah. It's all about her.
All about Den's,
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I went with a couple of hunting stories. This first one takes place in southern Colorado, Durango. Had a friend, grew up there, knew the area. So we went down there to, me and like 4 guys were camping in this little area of Durango. And we were chasing bulls and elk all day. We'd see them off in the distance, couldn't get to them, long ways away. And you know, the mountains down there they're not like, you know, you go into just the foothills over here.
Right.
They're pretty like rocky. There's not you know, they got trees and stuff too, but they're a lot sharper, steeper. So you bust your ass hunting there. And we were whooped. And so we radio across to each other, and like we're in a couple separate different trucks, and we're like, let's go eat. We're starving. So we wind down the mountain, get to our camping spot, and we start drinking some beers on the way home because it's getting dark, and we pull in to this meadow, and we're like, let's park here, and we'll all get in one truck. That way we don't have to go back and forth. So we kind of pull into this meadow, and we got the lights on, and there's a elk standing in the damn field. He's like a bull.
How far away?
80 yards.
Oh, shit.
80, 100 yards. He's close. I mean, that's close.
That's a doable shot.
Oh, yeah, even in the dark. So we have our headlights on him, and I'm looking through my scope. I'm like, God dang, I can't count his points. You know, to be a legal bull, you got to be 4x4, or at least have 4 on one side. And I'm looking, and it's past dusk. The sun is down, but it's not full on dark. So it's at that time of night where it's like, well, I can't shoot him, but I'm going to look through my scope and maybe I'll shoot him. But my buddy's in the background. He's like, shoot that son of a bitch. And I'm like, I can't count his horns. I can't count them.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, and I look in my chamber, and I'm like, I don't have any bullets. I had taken them out on the way down, like any great hunter would.
You're supposed to.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't have any bullets. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Right. But mainly because the whole time we're yelling back and forth and people are carrying on, this bull's not moving at all. He's not even, she's like statue. So we kind of figure out what's going on, right? And we go up and we slam the car door, and he's still just rigid.
Have you guys been drinking?
No. Not, okay. Like, this is like 2 beers in. We're coming back down the mountain. So we're like, this is a fake one. We know it's fake. So I go over and I put my Blaze orange hat like you're wearing on him. I stick it on his head. And we're like drinking beers and taking pictures next to him. Well, right then, 3 Division of Wildlife vehicles, trucks, pull up. Not lights or anything, but they just pull up. It's dark out, and they surround us. And they're like, you guys, you're interfering with a federal investigation right now? We're like, what do you mean? This is entrapment. You're trying to trick us. And they're like, well, you can't be doing this. And, sir, this lady comes up to me, and she's like, I know you wanted to shoot that. This is the smartest thing you've ever done, not taking a shot at that bull. She's like, we would have confiscated your camper, your vehicle, your guns, all of you. And I'm like, okay, but we didn't shoot.
Right.
And she's like, well, you guys got to leave. Get your hat. You can't park here. You're interfering with our operation.
Right.
So we're like kind of crapping our pants. I mean, we drive back to our actual camp spot. We're like in this meadow close to it, and we're just, like I said, we're going to haul ass into town. But we go back, and we are just like counting our blessings. Like that was close. That was close. Had I have maybe had one in my chamber, I don't know. I would have liked to think I wouldn't have done it.
Right,
but everybody's like, shoot him. And I'm like, God dang, do I shoot this damn thing? It was not illegal. It wouldn't have been legal. So thank God that did not happen.
Right.
But it was sketchy. We didn't really need to go up and take pictures with it. And I shouldn't have been an asshole and putting my hat on there and just been like, whatever, Actually, what I was going to do is leave my hat on there so nobody else got tricked into it.
Oh. So that's what I thought you were going to do, too, is just leave it there. And
then... That's what I was going to do. And just that way nobody else, gets conned into this because, when you're hunting, you meet all kinds of people. Like the people that come up from, weekend warriors. They come up from Texas, and they come out from California, and they're like, yeah, we took some good sound shots. Like, sound shots? What's a sound shot? Well, I heard something in the bush. Boom! Fire a couple shots in there and see what comes out.
It's your buddy taking a shit.
Yeah. Well, it's like, okay, well, where are you guys hunting?
Yeah.
Because we'll be over here. Yeah. So, none in the chamber. Save me.
So... Okay, I know dick about hunting. I'm just not a hunter. Never have been.
Yeah.
They can confiscate all your stuff for that. I mean, it's that big a deal.
Yeah, it's poaching. It's based almost like poaching.
That is poaching at nighttime.
Yeah, because you have 30 minutes before dawn and 30 minutes after dusk.
After sunset.
Or after sunset.
Yeah.
To hunt. But then once that 30 minutes goes up, then you're into night and you can't hunt until the next morning.
Correct.
So if he would have taken that shot, it would have been technically out of the time.
Is that a safety thing, so you don't shoot other hunters?
Right.
Or?
Yeah, and it's fairness to the animal.
Sure.
It's like, hey, we looted you all day. Let us go get something to eat at night.
Yeah, right.
And make it a fair fight, basically.
Okay. That's why in a lot
even
of
though
states,
we have guns.
That's why in a lot of states spotlighting or hunting with the spotlight's illegal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's like the Crocodile Dundee thing with the kangaroos that they're hunting them at night.
Yeah, kind of.
He shoots back at him.
Yeah,
it's a great scene.
Yeah, as soon as you said something that he was just like locked up, not moving, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what that thing was.
Well, I'll tell you, the ones they have now are different, and I haven't elk hunted for several years, but now they can move their heads, and because this was 20 20 years ago, easily 20 years ago. And they can, shake their tail or whatever, and they want to bust you. They want to get you.
I don't know if I agree with that, man.
They want to weed you out.
Is it a major problem, you think? People.
Oh yeah.
So it's.
I think it's a bigger problem than you realize.
Do you think it's warranted?
What they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I do on state and federal land.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, there's poaching going on private land. I mean, you'll never catch them.
Right.
Okay. Never. I mean, as long as you're following the rules, you shouldn't have to worry about it, that they're doing it or not. So
which I was completely.
Yeah.
I was following the rules. I didn't get a ticket. That would have sucked.
A ticket would have been getting off easy.
Oh, yeah.
We used to work at Budweiser. Not the same thing by any means, but entrapment wise. Mm-hmm. And how they send minors in to try and buy liquor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's shitty, bud. I'm sorry. That's. Well, I always said it was shitty. I would agree with it if they sent them in, you bit, and then they're like, this is your one warning. You just sold to a minor. But they don't. They go for the death sentence right away. You know what I mean? So when I worked for Budweiser, I used to go down I-76. It's been more than 7 years, so I can probably say this. Once one place got hit, I would start making phone calls. Like, hey, there's someone out. The kid blonde, his license says this name or whatever. So keep an eye out. And I'll be damned if all those liquor stores didn't start communicating with each other down the line, calling down the line, being, hey,
good.
They're coming. You know what I mean?
That's kind of like a trucker.
Yeah.
Down there. Yeah. Hey, we got a Smoky at mile marker 83.
You're so old.
we got a bear.
Yeah. Is that what it was?
No, it's a Smoky.
Okay. It's a Smoky.
Yeah, but
or bear's another one.
Okay.
So
I thought bear was a large gay man.
Well, that too.
Okay.
in the C.W. McCall song.
Okay. I'm just saying.
There's a line, we even had a bear in the air. So.
More of a Jerry Reed guy.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on this.
Just for the record, Smokey and the Bandit didn't have a fucking orangutan in it.
Oh.
Sometimes, Cary, I used to get a great joy out of making an argument that I knew was wrong.
Oh,
and just fighting people. At Budweiser, all these rednecks I worked with, I was like, yeah, Smokey and the Bandit, that's Burt Reynolds and that damn monkey who punches people. And they're like, no,
not even close.
Yeah, they handled me with kid gloves at first. Like, no, it's I'm like, no, dipshit. I seen the movie. The monkey punches people, and they're running from the law. One's Smokey, and the other one's a bandit. I don't know which is which.
Yeah,
I think the monkey might be Smokey, and they.
I love doing that. I love it. Yeah,
I even bought him like the Smokey and the Bandit movie. He goes, I'm not watching that fucking thing. I know what I'm talking about. Take that shit back home.
Yeah,
they were like, just watch it, Larry. Just watch it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not watching your bootleg shit you probably bought out of the trunk somewhere. Yeah, dude.
You shot it in the Brush Theater over here.
It's the Guatemalan version. I'm not watching that shit. It's not. So yeah,
quality's not there.
Yeah, it was that. There was a few that we used to argue quite a bit about. So it was always a good time, right?
Oh yeah. Going back to the whole busting the liquor stores.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were still there, but there was a liquor store owner out east that caught this guy or kid, whatever you want to call him. He saw him pocket a little bottle of whiskey or something. So he took the footage to the local police department and said, this guy, just stole this. I have it on footage. And then the story, or in the video, you see the dude come in. He's over there looking. He's kind of looking around, and then he sticks this bottle of whiskey inside his coat pocket, and then grabs something else, like a six-pack of beer or something, comes up to the register, pays for it, and leaves.
Yeah, I was there.
You were there? So he takes this footage to the police department, and they're like, okay, well, just so you know, we now have footage of you selling to a minor.
The guy was a minor.
So he busted himself, basically.
Oh, no.
That was a liquor store that when you pulled up to it, there was a house next door, Cary. And this house had the fattest pug I've ever seen in my life. Do you remember that dog?
Yes.
There was a pug and a chihuahua. The chihuahua was 1/4 the size of the pug. The pug was... It was the most obese pug I've ever seen in my life. I was a salesman there, so I'd pull up and they'd bark at me, but that pug would be like, so they start breathing really hard, and then it would have to lay down.
Yeah. Hold on. Don't come up there yet.
The chihuahua was like, his tongue was hanging out. I was like, that dog's gonna that's the fattest damn dog I've ever seen in my life.
I've forgotten
Remember
about
that pug?
I do remember it.
Oh, bud. I avoided it, not because I was scared of the pups. I didn't want to be the one to kill that dog just because it
yeah. Had a heart attack.
Oh,
trying to bite your ankle.
It had like a bunch of like chins. It had like rolls to its neck. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're feeding that dog other pugs or what, but man, it was so. That's a liquor store you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about there was one out in Holyoke, and we got the news about the blonde kid. I told him I was with Joel Coleman.
Right.
So we're outside stacking all this beer up, right? This kid comes walking through the beer. So Coleman, kind of crazy. Coleman's not afraid of anything. That's just Joel, right? Mm-hmm. And Joel's watching him. He thinks he's going to rob us, right? He's going to try and take a case of beer and book it.
Oh.
And Joel is going to tackle him. Joel is now given a reason to hurt this kid, right? So I just keep working because I don't want no pie. I'm not running nobody down.
Yeah.
But the kid went in there. He tried to buy something. The liquor store owner caught him. And he goes, "Let me see your ID." Kid gives him the ID. Looks at it, goes, "You're underage." Kid goes, "Oh, okay," and he leaves. Liquor enforcement guy comes back into the liquor store and goes, "You did a good job, blah blah blah. I need the ID back." He goes, "No, I called the cops. You can get it from them." And that liquor enforcement officer, he was furious. He's like, "Do you know what I can do?" He's like, "Yeah, you can go to the cops and get your ID back. That's what I'm supposed to do by the law." Oh man, it was ugly. So we're wheeling this fucking beer and listening to that guy and that
John.
Yo, yeah, they got. I respect the dude.
Yeah,
because they were trying to bust him, so he did the right thing.
Yeah,
and he did the right thing to the letter of the law. That's what they didn't like. So
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
All
right. What'd you think about that story, Adam?
That's a pretty good one. I can relate, sort of. I didn't almost shoot an elk, but there's that.
God, you would have been after bad eating. Bad eating.
Yes. Styrofoam probably don't taste the best.
That's yeah. I'm not a hunter, so I'm gonna take your word for it. So you might have got one. If that's fake, you might get one by me on that. So all right, but pretty good. So we gotta learn on this podcast. That's what I like. How much have you honestly learned on this podcast?
Well, I've learned that you don't know a whole lot about a few things.
Dude, you know what I've learned? I've learned so much about Pueblo. I feel like
that's true.
I feel like I know Pueblo. Like, you could be the mayor down there.
I should be the mayor in Pueblo. God damn it! So there's a guy named Ryan. What's up, Ryan? He's the one that always sees Dency in the Walmart and always wants to go talk to her. I saw Dency today. He's all happy. I'm like, don't be happy.
Oh yeah.
But he's from Pueblo, and that's why he digs those stories, man. Whenever Pueblo comes up, so it's Ernie's friend that came down with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
What I like is like when a guest uses like some term or a word that I'm almost certain Moose doesn't know what it means. When they use it, I just kind of turn and look at Moose to see if his face goes blank.
What do you think about that, Moose?
When Andy,
what do you think?
Like when Andy Rice used the term caterwauling.
Yeah, I still don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, that makes two of us, really.
Do you know what caterwauling is?
No.
What is caterwauling?
It's just like a sound, really. It's just kind of like describes like a sound of, because the way that Andy used it, he said I was on my guitar just caterwauling, just basically singing, but it didn't sound good. He was just making noise type.
I think Andy's full of shit. I think he made that word up, and I think you're going along with it. I think you're an enabler.
No, I've actually heard it before.
I think you're an enabler. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So, all right.
No, don't know that one.
None in the chamber. That was good. We have two left. Okay. Tesla and bed and breakfast. So, I don't know if Tesla's the band or the car, but I know I'm gonna say that one to last. Let's do bed and breakfast.
Bed and breakfast. It is.
Get your cue cards out. There's nothing wrong with bringing cards on the podcast, by the way. God bless.
Yeah, well,
and at least he has them for all of the stories. If he has them just for one, that could be a red flag.
Right, right. That's true. We catch him again like that.
I know the story is pretty good. So, but there's points on there. It's like, man, I don't want to forget to say that because it's kind of like, it's a good point. It's part of the story.
Right.
But this is another hunting story.
All right.
Goose hunting. It's a goose hunting story, which is my least favorite of all hunting because it's cold as hell. Mm-hmm. Me and a friend of mine, we were going back to Ogallala, Nebraska, where it was just our spot to goose hunt. And his uncle lived south of Ogallala, and it was just colder than, I'm serious, it was cold. And we had hunted all day, and sat in this goose blind, and you can drink in a goose blind, just kind of stay warm, right? So we're having some whiskey, but the only place that we could find this place, the only place we could stay, everything was sold out in Grant and Ogallala. So we call up and we stay at this. We get reservations for this bed and breakfast. And when I'm telling you, it's like the one in Groundhog's Day, where this little old lady's coming up. Hi, will you be staying tonight again? Yes, okay. Here's some toast and jelly. And we're like, lady, I'm drunk as hell.
There'll be no pitching or catching in our rooms. Thank you very much, you two.
It was weird, but this is the only place we could stay.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're like, this place is too fancy for us, and it's so cold out. My friend is like, what are we going to do with my dog? My dog is not going to sit in the truck all night, and this place doesn't have like a kennel area.
Right.
They're not used to kenneling dogs at this place. So we let's think of a plan. Okay, so our plan was we went and got something to eat. We went and got a pizza, and we're gonna bring it back up to the room, and we're just gonna eat pizza and chill out. The plan was to put his dog in this big ass duffel bag. Well, we took all of his shit out, all of his clothes and everything, and we're like, he's got a Labrador. And it's like...
He's got a Labrador.
A lab. Yeah. It's like a 60-pound Labrador. Female. Yeah. And this thing don't want to get in this friggin' duffel bag at all. And he's like stuffing her head in there, and he zips it up. And you can just see the legs and shit on the side. Like, this is not going to work. He's like, we got to make it work. I'm like, all right, well, we need a diversion. We got to have a diversion for old Mabel or whatever her name was. So he's like, all right, well, I'm going to go up. I'm going to take this duffel bag, and I'm going to go up into the room. You go talk to her and create a diversion. You just like, I don't care if you drop something or whatever. So I come up, and I come in first, of course. And he says, well, I'm going to just go up to the room. And I said, look, she asked me, will you sign my guest book? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course. And I'm looking through there, and I get up, and I'm looking down the names, and there's like, I said, you had a couple here from Norway? This is in Grant, Nebraska, Ogallala, south of Ogallala. I'm like, well, holy hell, that's pretty cool. I said, well, I'm from Poland. She's like, you're from Poland? I'm like, yeah, well, I moved over here in 6th grade, so I can talk pretty good. I mean, my accent's gone. And she's like, oh, well, what's your name? Shit. I'm like, it's Chaz. Chaz Yurkowski. I got to put a ski on the end of something. In the meantime, my buddy's jutting up the steps, with this dog. So I'm like, okay, Chaz Yurkowski, Krakow, Poland. Yeah, it works. We get the dog up there, and I'm talking to her for a little bit. And as, it goes on, I get up there, and the dog, like, I'm not talking, there's doilies and, like, stitched frickin' Afghans on that. And this dog's just, we're muddy. We're kicking shit, like our boots off. And we got pizza crust and pizza stuff all over this place. And we kind of making a mess. Well, we get up early in the morning and we haul ass. But we never got found out about the dog.
Really?
No. And we had a couple beers. We weren't loud, Right. Had a couple beers. Dog slept on the bed with him. I slept on the couch, and that was it. But we go back down. A month or two later, we get my buddy gets an envelope. He gets a mail. It's a telegram is in the envelope. It's from his aunt, and there's an article in the telegram that says Mabel would like to tell the town of Grant that she had a visitor from Poland.
No, sir, no.
Yeah, it's a little article. It's just like 2 sentences. But Mabel.
That's the way those small town newspapers work.
Oh, hey, yeah. Guess what? Mabel's got 6 puppies for sale too, but also she had a visitor from Poland. So
there was in Snyder. They used to have that in Snyder, Colorado, in the Brush Tribune as I was growing up.
Yeah.
Like Mr. and Mrs. Walker had dinner over at the Johnson's house. And I was like, who gives a shit about this? But people read it. So
well, that's the way the Holly newspaper was. Mr. and Mrs. Burns' niece
is home from a tour in Germany.
Right, or here visiting for the weekend.
Yeah.
They had pot roast with carrots and cabbage.
Yeah, it's kind of like
that's funny.
What's the thing that they have on the radio here for like in the morning?
Swap Shop.
Yes, it's exactly like Swap Shop.
Yeah. Is that still going?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I haven't heard it for a while, but my brother, because he got a kick out of that. He's like, "What? 2 bits? 2 bits for an old washboard? That sounds cheap." They sell this dumbest crap on there.
Dude, I'll tell you a story about your brother here in a minute. Because where's he from?
Krakow, Poland.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Lincoln.
Okay, so he was down helping you with your business one day, right?
Yeah, he helps me.
Okay.
Yeah, we work together.
They were in Brush, and I'm driving down my street, and I see a Kudron construction truck and a bald white guy sitting next to it. So I want to scream something at him, and I'm like, is that I can't tell if that's Cary or not, but I know he's got employees, so this has thwarted me before not to flip him off and be like, fuck you, Cary. Like, oh, you're not Cary. But so I drove by and I waved at him like this, and it was like creepy, and he kind of waved back like, so I didn't know who it was. I talked to you like, that's my brother, and I'm like, I wish I'd have known that, because I'd have stopped like, hey, Kudron, that hooker you sent me wasn't a woman. You owe me money for my crack cocaine.
There's a lot of people that do that. One of the mechanical plumbers came in, and we were working on this job, and he's like, dude, I feel like shit. I'm like, why? He's like, I just walked in, and like, your brother looked at me. I thought it was you, because we look close, we've got a pretty close appearance.
If you're not wearing glasses, you're going to mistake them.
Yes. And he's like, and I flipped him off. He's like, and he kind of looked at me like, well, what the hell is your problem? But you're not the only one. I mean, a lot of people do that.
Your brother's probably like, man, what have you done in this town? Man, I get flipped off and screamed at all the time. A lot of people hate you.
That's what it is, too.
I'm surprised you're still in business, bro.
I know.
Because you were doing some work at the DFA dryer at one point.
Oh, yeah.
I saw you, I went to go fuel the truck, and it's right by our fuel island where you park.
Right.
And I saw Kudron Construction, so I go over there and I look and I try and open the door, because I'm going to leave you a note that on the stereo says, I just smelled your seat. But then I'm thinking, what if it's not Cary? Yeah. And then the cameras are like, who wrote this? One of those sick-ass drivers from DFA. Oh, it's the fat one. We've had problems before.
Yeah. This time, it's number 3. He's gone.
So I gotta be careful. There's so many times I want to do something to a Kudron construction vehicle, but I'm like, I don't know if that's Cary or not.
That's why I took the signs off of them.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm like, you're giving me a bad rap, or I'm giving you a bad one. I don't know what, but
your poor brother. Dude, when I waved at him, all slow wave, he was like, "Is this what's
this guy's?" I don't want to even know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
I'm going to be sold into sex trafficking. So, all right. What did you think about that one, Voke?
That was pretty good. I like that.
I liked it, but I liked the fact that if she had cameras, how long ago was this?
Long time.
Okay, so there was no cameras there probably. But if there was cameras, she would have caught his buddy, what looks like a human being in a fucking diaper bag.
Could have been a teenager. Nothing to see here, Mabel. Go back to your knitting.
If you hear screams, we're just watching a scary movie. We're not raping anything in this room, so just calm down.
I just had that picture of the dog, like, doing what you're saying, like, pushing and, like, trying to get out, and then every night you'd probably hear it.
And your buddy just starts slapping the bag.
Kneeing it.
Fucking Mabel has her fucking Glock pointed at her door all night till you fucking leave, man. Oh, that was good. So that's the only thing I could think of, man. That probably looks suspect as shit. As you seen something in a bag. That's like some mafia shit right there.
It is.
Especially if she saw you shoving it into the trunk of your car. Then that would have been sketchy. So, all right. That was 2 good stories. So, I don't know. I'm so happy when you come on these. All right. Last one. Tesla.
Well, I was going to say, you know what a Tesla is, but you guessed me already.
Which one?
Well, that's it. Like, I know what Adam's going to say. Adam's like, oh, yeah, I know what a Tesla is. And it's like, no, it's a long-haired band from the 90s.
Okay.
So you got it. Okay. You got that one. Tesla, but Tesla is just because I wanted to throw you for a loop. But what's their song? Name their song.
Signs.
Thank you. God dang.
Edison's Medicine. See, this is where
Love
he
song.
goes blank.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this. Yeah.
The great.
I know Tesla's a band, but I couldn't name any.
The Great Radio Controversy, right? That's the album.
If it ain't Patsy Cline, you don't want to hear it, huh?
Well, it's across Texas, baby.
If it's not someone's got to see his sister naked in a sexual way, I ain't listening to that music. Gosh darn it!
So, okay, you nailed it, and it is it's signs. They're signs. These are signs. Whatever the rest of that goes. Okay, I got 3 stories of which, like, this will be my Halloween story.
Okay.
Okay,
all right.
Or whatever. Paranormal.
Yep.
Yeah. But, okay, let me get these suckers on. I got to start off with this. I learned this from, everybody knows, like, you see something, crow or whatever.
Right.
And whatever it's forecast. But I get this superstition or whatever. It's I learned this from my mom because she was huge on this. My mom lost her sister. It's been a long time ago, but she passed away of cancer, and her sister had this bond over cardinals. They're the bird cardinal.
Okay.
And they were close. They were as close as sisters can
Sure.
And anytime she would see a cardinal, she would be like, okay, my aunt, my sister is like, she's with us. She's come to say hi or whatever, and it's kind of a feel-good thing. And so another one that she would get, and so she would attribute these cardinals to my aunt, Gail, or her sister, Gail. And, there's a lot of cardinals in Nebraska. Mm-hmm. But it's not like a damn sparrow. They don't come around all the time.
Right.
So, it's maybe a coincidence when you see one, but you don't see them every day. So where I'm going is, it's just not an everyday occurrence.
Sure.
Well, another one of these things that my mom would see would be stars. If she saw a star, like the cutout of a star or whatever, that represented something else. Like I think maybe it was her mom. Mm-hmm. But stars were always just like a sign from up above. Very religious woman. Okay. I'm like, well, these glittery stars, Mom, if you would, for me, I'm like, if you would sweep up after all your crafts, you wouldn't have so many of these damn stars because, they're laying all over the damn house.
Sure.
And just because you find one is like, well, there's 6 laying on the floor over here.
Right.
But, okay. That being said, okay, so I get this from my mom, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's got a little validity to it.
Sure.
But mostly it's kind of a feel-good thing.
Right.
So my first one is, by the way, we were raised Catholic, so you're not really supposed to kind of believe in this.
Me too. Me too.
I mean, it's just one of them things that's like, have faith in, the big man. You're not supposed to go and look for this stuff or ask for it.
Right.
But I did anyway.
Okay.
Right? So I'm driving back from Nebraska, and me and Dents had dated like 3 years. And I'm like, God dang, she's at ultimatum time with me. She's like, I'm tired of waiting around for you. Like, you gotta, should get off the pot with me because, I think we have something special, and I did too, But it's like, God dang, man, you got 3 kids, and you got an ex, and I'm like, man, but she's a great person. We got along so well. To me, it was just like, is it worth it? That's hard,
But in retrospect, you probably should have got off the pot, right?
I should have got off the pot after 3 years. So anyway, I did what any good little praying Catholic boy shouldn't have done, and I'm praying on the way home. I'm like, Lord, you got to give me a sign. I need something. I need you to slap me across the face.
Right.
And so I'm like a hunter, and I just, there's some things that for me, they just kind of like, well, that's out of line,
right.
Like if you see a statue of a elk, that's something's wrong with that. Well, I'm praying about this, like, all right, I want to know if this woman is the one for me. You need to show me a
sign.
Yeah, give me it. Well, so I'm driving along, and I'm on this highway. I'm taking the back highway home from Nebraska, and I'm paralleling a railroad track. There's tracks on one side, on the south side of me, and I'm looking over, and I just see pheasants, like 10 of them, 10 roosters running on the railroad tracks, and I've never in all my life seen that. And I'm a big pheasant. I used to hunt pheasants. I used to hunt all the time. But so to see this, I'm like, well, that's a pretty good sign right there that I'm gonna pull the trigger. So I was very faithful. I was like, if this is what it takes, then I'm doing it. So I see 10 roosters on a railroad track running. That's a pretty good sign to me.
Yeah.
So that's my first sign story.
Okay.
Yeah, which I proposed to her after that.
How'd it turn out?
Well, that's what to be determined. No. I had one of the most terrible, what do you call that? Proposals in the history of the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we going to hear about that?
Do you want to?
Yeah, I was absolutely.
Awful. It's awful. Well, my back was against the wall because she's expecting this. It's like, you either do it or don't. And, like the time's ticking here, dude.
Yeah.
And so, okay, I'll make this quick. Her son and I, 18 months old, I take him up to Denver, and I'm like looking for a ring. And I'm like, I'm kind of on a budget here. I don't have much.
Right.
So I'm like, she didn't want anything fancy, and she told me that. I'm like, all right, well, here we go, pawn shop. I'm going to the pawn shop. Yeah. So, and I really did find this ring. I'm holding this in my pocket for like 2 weeks because the time never came up. Well, my neighbor one day, he comes and asks me, he's like, hey, you want to go golfing? I'm like, yeah, let's go golf. Well, no beers, didn't bring a single beer, but he brought a jug of Crown Royal. I'm like, God dang. He can drink it. Well, I had a problem with it. And I was just like, God dang. By the time I got home, I didn't know,
yeah,
sloppy. I get home, Dance is running around the house with a bowl of suds, just like suds overflowing. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? She's like, I'm catching millers. I'm like, catching millers? Well, it was Miller season, right?
Right.
And I had no idea that they would fly into this soapy mixture because whatever. I had no idea. It's the first time I had ever heard of this.
I've never heard of that.
I do it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I have a nightlight on my counter.
Yeah.
And I'll get a bowl of suds and put it under, just put some Dawn and
exactly
make it set up, and then you just set it there, and they'll fly around that light, and they get stuck in the
Okay, I hadn't heard of this either, and that's a thing. But she's running around with it, trying to catch it, and it looked ridiculous. And I'm like, you're not catching any damn millers in there. I don't care what you say. I'm like, okay. So I told her, all right, if you catch a miller in there, I'll give you anything you want. I said, I don't believe you. Banking that she's like, hey, I want you to ask me to get married.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, she catches a miller, and she did. She fell for my trap, Adam. The trap had sprung.
Mastermind.
Yeah. So she asked me, and I'm like, hey, I just happen to have this ring. I'll walk in.
Yeah.
Did the whole thing. Kneeled down. Asked her if she'd marry me.
That's cool, though.
Yeah. That is doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
I call her dad up and said, Larry, here's what's going on. This was really soon after the pheasants, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. Well, of course, that's why we're into this. But yeah, that. Millers, pheasants. What else we got? So on my receipt, it says the receipt is 1 diamond ring and 1 VHS tape. The mouse trap. I had to bribe Gage with a VHS tape. I'm like, don't you tell your mom about this. I'm gonna buy you this damn videotape and watch the shit out of it.
He didn't snitch.
No,
never did. Gage. Attaboy.
Yeah, Gage, right on. So that was that's okay. That was the first one. Next sign I have. This is about my buddy. He passed away. Just kind of a terrible accident. We grew up in Nebraska. Spent a lot of time with him. Me and his brother. We were real close. And man, we just had a lot of funny stories. Mm-hmm. Hung out all the time. He was the one person I knew when I moved to Denver. I mean, if you recall, I moved here with like a duffel bag full of tools and clothes, and that's all I had.
Right.
Excuse me. So I had this buddy, and we're kind of having, we hung out quite a bit. We'd do the bars, we'd hunt and motocross and do all this stuff. Well, we lost him about 5 years ago, and at the funeral, his mom, we leave the funeral, go to the gravesite. Or no, we didn't go to the gravesite. She comes out after the funeral, and she's just in tears. She's crying. And there's a feather on her car. And that was her sign for Ethan, my buddy. She's like, kind of a like we were saying, this feel good. And this feather lands on her, is just sitting on her windshield, and she's like, okay. Everything's going to be okay. It's out of the ordinary. It's not like a bird shit or anything. It's, it's a feather. So that was her thing. She would say, the feathers, and she would, I love this woman because she's my buddy's mom, right? So she would call me all the time, oh, I got this feather. And so me and Chris we're building a garage in Brush over here, and we're talking about a story about me and Ethan and what we were doing. It just kind of a funny story, and we were laughing about it and just shooting the crap. And it's quitting time, and I'm like sitting in the back of my truck, rolling up tools and throwing them in the truck. And this feather, I see this feather out of the corner of my eye. It's just helicoptering down, like just ever so slowly. A pretty decent sized feather.
Right.
But there's nothing around, like there's no trees, and this thing just fell like basically in my lap.
Out of thin air.
Yeah. After I had just talked about him. So I actually I was just like, okay, wow, this is pretty weird, So I take a picture of it and I just send it to his mom, and she's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I don't know, take it or leave it with what you want to do with that kind of stuff, but the probabilities, I don't know, they're probably pretty high, but naturally it's got to happen sometimes. But for me to be talking about him and then just, this happened like that,
right?
It was just too cool for me. It was cool.
Do you believe in that kind of stuff, Adam? Signs like that?
Kind of, but I don't know. I'm not.
It's funny you bring this up. I just experienced this recently, and it's the most wild thing. I just lost a very good friend of mine, a childhood friend, Missy. The thing that reminds me of her the most, we both lived in Pueblo together, and we used to be broke. She was going to college. I was working at Wendy's,
Yeah.
And that Wendy's would every now and again give me free movie tickets to the Southside Ford Theater, and I'd call him like, I got tickets, And so she'd come get me, and we'd go watch a movie. We got in this argument. I can't remember what movie I wanted to watch, but she wanted to go watch this new Men in Black movie. It's got that Will Smith, and she's telling me, I'm like, I've never heard of it, but we'll give it a try. It's one of my favorite movies of all time now, right? I went back and watched it again. Even though I'm broke, I found the time.
Yeah.
But that movie's always reminded me of Missy. When she passed away, I was thinking about it one day, and on TikTok, what comes on? The Men in Black, the scene with Will Smith and with all the Army Rangers and the Marines and stuff. And,
that's a great scene.
Yeah, that's the scene came on, and I was like, I got a little choked up. Yeah. Now, I don't know. It was just a coincidence.
Right.
The next morning, what was on TV when I first turned it on was Men in Black, and I hadn't seen the movie in years. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't ever come on. So I kind of get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that Missy sending me? No, she doesn't do the programming. Even if she's in heaven, she doesn't do the programming for. I'm assuming she doesn't. I don't know. Maybe she's got a new job up there, but
right.
It's
when it just seems like the chances of it are like the timing.
Right.
The timing and the chance of it all coming together. It's just, to me, it's like, okay, you made me a believer.
Right.
Is what it did.
My Tammy Alexander, actually, it was Tammy. Lost Cameron, her son Cameron Alexander, and their things were sunflowers.
Okay.
He always gave her sunflowers.
Yeah.
And when he passed away, she finds them in the weirdest places now all the time. The sunflowers just shows up in her life. You know what I mean? So
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like with my mom, with these stars and these feathers and.
Like Mom was telling me at one point in time, some blew onto her car. She walked outside and there was some laying on her car. You know what I mean? And she just crazy stuff. So, but whatever. At the end of the day, whether it's a real thing or not, it brings you peace, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just it makes you feel good,
right?
And whether you believe it or don't, exactly. Right. It's like you feel a connection,
right?
So that's my last one. These just happen to happen, happenstance when I'm hunting. So, because I don't know why, I guess it's the alone time maybe, it's peaceful. It's a lot of damn work.
Right.
It's hard. But, so, I'm elk hunting again, but this time I'm with a couple of different friends, and I've been skunked, dude. Like, I haven't shot an elk in 10 years. Nothing. And
not a live one.
No, I nothing to put on the wall.
Yeah, okay.
And I finally get my chance. Okay, so we're I stalked some, came down and did the whole. Felt like I was really hunting.
Right.
Like I'm coming down the woods, and I was just like, man, I need a break. I need something, and. I come up and I come across some tracks and they look really fresh. So I'm on point, I'm like stalking. I get down in there, I find me a little spot, and I look, and there's kind of like this little marshy area where I see some elk in there, and they're drinking. They're drinking out of this little wetland. So I see cows, the females. Well, I have a bull tag, and I'm searching through there, and finally I see one. I see a bull, and I'm like, okay, there's the one. But I'm looking through tree branches and everything. And I'm like, God dang, I don't know if I have a clear shot. It's close,
right? But
it's just there's too many things in the way. Mm-hmm. And I'm like sitting there, and as you Adam, you don't, Larry. You don't have very much time. Mm-hmm. They're gonna sense you. They're gonna smell you if the wind comes down. Luckily, the wind's blowing at me, but they can really hear you. And I look up and I see these big ass radar ears from the females. They're like, something's happening.
Right.
And I'm like, I got to do something now. So I get up and I take a poke at this one, and I'm close enough. Like, I know I had a decent shot at him, but I could not tell if I hit him or not. And I'm like, come on, man. How do you miss this thing? Well, you can miss it by a branch deflecting your bullet or whatever.
Right.
So I go over there, and once I shoot, everything just scatters, right? And this bull, he comes like running right at me. And I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
I'm scared now.
Right.
Like, do I need to rack another one and blast him? But I think I got a pretty good shot at him, although he's running like I didn't hit him.
Right.
But I'm kind of like, I don't even know what to do right now.
Yeah.
So he sees me, and he hauls ass up the there's a mountain right there, a hill, and he goes up and over it. Like, I don't know if I hit him. So I go to the spot where I shot him, and I'm looking around, and I don't see nothing. I see nothing. I'm like, damn, I'm pissed. And I'm trying to gauge from, like, where I shot. Like, that's the tree I was hiding behind. And so I'm looking over there, and I'm, like, trying to judge the distance. And I sit there, and out of the blue, I see something fluttering in there. And it's a butterfly. It's a white one. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And he's just dancing around, flying around. And so when Dencia's dad passed away, we had his funeral at the grave, or we go to the grave, and everybody's like, did you guys see all them butterflies? That was kind of weird. Well, there's like 2 butterflies landing on his gravestone. It was already pre-built. And they're like fluttering around, kind of like took everybody's attention away from what everybody's talking about, like how great Larry is and all this and everything else. And everybody's just kind of staring at these butterflies. So that's me and, our family's kind of animal or whatever. Our sign for Larry is these butterflies.
Right.
Any kind of butterfly. Well, I see this butterfly, and he's floating around, and he's flying right at me. And I'm like, okay, whatever. That's pretty cool. I'm looking for blood and stuff on the ground. Like, did I hit this damn thing or not? And this butterfly floats all the way over to me. And he comes and flies and smacks me. He flies right into my chest. Right into my chest. I'm holding a gun, and I'm looking around like there's all kinds of room around here.
Right.
You could have flown around me, is what I'm saying. But he came and flew and hit my chest, right? And I'm like, wow, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like following him, or like looking at him, and I look down, and there I see the blood. And there's all kinds of it. I was just like looking in the wrong spot.
Right.
There's blood all over, and I'm like, okay, now we got something. So then I go and follow where I go up the hill, and then I see the drops of blood, and I follow him up. I start at this hill, and I check the whole way, and there's nothing. I stop actually like here, I'm if this is a 180, I stop at 160, and I'm combing back and forth and just nothing. But I take a shot and I go straight across, which would have been weird for the animal to do. But he that's how far he made it. I find him just a little bit down the path, and he basically went straight away from me, where that basically, it was over the hill, but kind of like right in line where that butterfly came from. Yeah, so I got him. My first elk ever, bull.
The butterfly led you there.
Yeah. Well, he made me see the blood.
You wouldn't have
saw direction.
Yeah. But I thought that was. That was pretty crazy. I seen this thing from yards, like from where I took the shot.
Right.
And for him, he just bounced off my chest.
Right.
I was like, what the hell?
My grandmother passed away in 95, and my great aunt, her sister, lived in Pueblo. My grandfather lived in Pueblo after that for a while. And they were always, my Aunt Ruth and my grandfather were they were close. They were tight, you know.
Yeah.
Ruth's husband left early, so Grandpa would always go help with the kids or fix the house or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And my Aunt Ruth just loved my grandfather. When Grandpa died, the day he died, we're Catholic too, so in the corner of her bedroom there was the Virgin Mary, or maybe it was Jesus. There was maybe it was a picture, a statue of Jesus, and all the candles she would light when she said prayers for people, or when she'd pray for people.
Oh yeah.
She said that when he died, before she even got the phone call, those candles all started flickering, like all of them. There's no draft or anything, just flickered like crazy. And she says, I knew something was up, you know. And then she got the phone call that he had passed. So some of that stuff, I don't know. I believe in it. You know,
I do.
Believer, so.
Oh, I do now for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Those are great though.
Yeah.
But we gotta start moving along here.
Yeah.
That's when old friends come on here. We start bullshitting. So
those are my stories. That's it.
Those are great, man. What'd you think, Adam?
That's pretty cool. The way that things.
You don't have signs for anybody you know?
No.
Not really? Okay. All right. Well, we got 3 great stories, None in the Chamber, Tesla, and Bed and Breakfast. Now, Cary, as you know, when we try to decide which one of us guesses first, we rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
What do? Do you 3-pump or 4-pump?
3.
Attaboy.
1, 2, 3.
Attaboy.
No, otherwise you'd just go on 4.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Rock, paper, scissors.
We're making a small comeback. I think we're starting to kill this year. We're making a small comeback. So we're going to do 3, Adam. All right?
All right.
Boom.
That's a bit of fun. All right, Mr. Roki. We have None in the Chamber, Tesla, and Bed and Breakfast. What are you thinking, boss?
Oh, I don't know. That Tesla story, that's tough because it was like 3 little stories inside like one subject.
I'm not apologizing.
Well, I didn't expect you
Don't
to.
guilt trip me, you bastard.
Yeah.
So there's a lot in there to unpack to try to sort that out. But I don't know. Like you always say, as much as I want it to be true, I think I'm going to go with Bed and Breakfast. And I just think there's something in there, I don't know, stuffing a dog into a duffel bag. I was like thinking about that when you said something about, we got to get this dog inside. I'm like, they're going to stuff his ass in a fucking bag. But I just think there's something in that story that's not 100% true. It might even be like the little article that was in the paper. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to go with Bed and Breakfast.
All right. So I'll tell you this. I think Tesla's a true story. I'm hoping that's true. I think it's just a cool thing, and I'm a big believer in that too. Maybe it's a Catholic thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bed and Breakfast and more in the None in the Chamber. I bounce between both those as you were telling them, because either one can be made up, not made up, but what's what I'm looking for? Yeah, changed a little bit at the end.
Fabricated.
Yep. But I think Bed and Breakfast, it sounds like a Cary Kudron story. That sounds about right. Like if they told me that story and that happened to one of your friends, like, was it Cary Kudron? There'd be like 4 people I'd guess, but you'd be definitely top 4 in that pick. None in the Chamber. I think that's why I'm going to pick the None in the Chamber, strictly for the fact that I think that might have happened, but I don't think that you were surrounded by wildlife. I think you probably saw a fake animal, but I don't. I think you probably took pictures of you humping the thing. I mean, that's what you do when you're a guy. You've been drinking in the forest. You and your buddies laugh and act like you're gang banging it. But I'm going to go with None in the Chamber. So before you flip that over, I do want to say thank you to the Brush Emporium, as we always do.
Thank you.
These guys have been awesome. This is your first time down here in our studio.
Down in the studio, yeah. But I've ate here.
Yeah.
Took the guys here. Great. I recommend the chicken wings.
Oh, yeah.
The pizza's good, but, man, don't forget about the chicken wings.
The wings are good. I really like them.
The garlic pepper is the shit. I'm a wet buffalo wing guy, not a dry rub, but I've changed here. I'll eat Gilbert's pepper.
See, I like a dry. I like it, yeah.
See,
I'm a nasty eater anyway.
Yeah. Who you talking to, bro? But thank you to the Brush Emporium.
Yeah.
And please remember, if you don't support small business, it goes away. These guys have got many vendors in here, so you can do some shopping while you're waiting for your food. You can hang out here. They got games upstairs to play, like board games. Old school, man. So, and they're great people. They love this town. That's why they opened this business. Yeah. And once again, they gave us this great spot down here to build our little studio. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, kind of cool. So thank you to the Brush Emporium, 210 Clayton Street. Please make sure you come down here, and please make sure you support them, because if you don't support it, like I said, it goes away, right? What else we got?
And then If you're watching this on YouTube, down in the lower corner, was it right?
Bottom right-hand corner, yep.
There's a little bell where you can subscribe. Go ahead and click that. It's a small click for you, but a big click for us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. No matter what platform you're listening to this on, please make sure you leave a comment and like the podcast and share it.
Yeah, share it. Take a guess.
Yeah, take a guess. Susan Koser does it, and so does Tish. So, join them because that's why they're our favorites.
I've got some feedback on them. You know how you're like, hey, this guy from Arizona.
Yeah.
So I got some buddies that are like, I heard this through my brother. He's like, yeah, I was back for a wedding. Huh. And I have some friends that I graduated with that are down in Texas. And they said, didn't show them a video or nothing, just said, listen to this. Had it like on their phone.
Yeah.
Who is this? And it's just me talking about, I don't know what story it was, probably goat story.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's Cary Kudron. But they found it, some old buddies of mine that I graduated with, they're actually different high school, but we all hung out together. And He's like, yeah, they're down in Texas listening to it. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Texas. So very cool, man. Very cool. All right. I'm taking none in the chamber. You're taking bed and breakfast?
Yes.
Cary, flip that bitch around. None in the chamber.
It's the part that you didn't put the hat on the elk, right?
That's right. Damn it.
Yeah. I was thinking that. I was thinking if there's anything about that story that's not true, they didn't put the hat on that fucking elk. And then I went with bed and breakfast instead. Son of a bitch.
Well, it's embellished. That's what I was looking for earlier. It's embellished.
Yeah, it was. Well, we're smarter than that to go shooting poached elk.
Right.
I didn't have any in the chamber. That saved us, but I wouldn't have shot him anyway.
Right.
It's way past dark. But no, we got stormed by the Division of Wildlife.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, they were like, you are ruining our... And that gal did tell me, that was the smartest thing you've ever did, not pull that trigger.
Wow. So they're sitting there watching you think about it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, but no, to this day, I got this one buddy. He's like, shoot that son of a bitch. I'm like, he's like, I told you not to shoot that son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I'm like,
whatever.
Bullshit.
Yeah. You were the little devil in my ear, you son of a bitch.
Right.
And sadly enough, bed and breakfast is a true story.
That was hilarious. Chaz Yurkowski. I still go by Chaz Yurkowski in some areas.
Yurkowski?
Yurkowski. Yeah. Yeah, I just had to quick pull a Polish name out of my ass. I'm like, okay.
I have an alias. It's Roman Vandersnatch, so why not, right?
Well, I'm Zachy Fashmirfekin, so.
What is it?
Zachy Fashmirfekin.
My UPS driver, he was Prime Day the other day, right? So he's just dropping shit off at my house. I got 4 women that live there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you. What's your name? He's like, Chaz. I'm like, Chaz? Really? And I'm like, that's my go-to name when I don't want somebody to know who the hell I really am.
When I'm dealing with the law.
He's like, well, my real name's Charlie. You bastard.
Yeah,
I'm like,
stick to Chaz.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Chaz Yurkowski, yeah. Oh, God, that sweet old lady, she had no idea that we just tore that room up, dude.
I mean.
Dog mud, pizza grease, dog hair, just hauling ass.
Right.
Chewing up her doilies.
She's probably a gypsy, put a curse on your ass. That's what in there.
Yeah.
And Tesla, all true stories.
All true.
That's very cool.
Yep.
I think it's cool that I'm trying to put the words to this. I think it's cool that you're I can't think of the word I'm trying to use now. That you're cognizant of it, not cognizant, but you are
conscious of it.
No. Anyway. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. That's something you look at.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think there's signs, and that's what like you just got to look for them.
Because I think what do they say? That people truly die when people quit talking about them. Right? That's when they truly go away.
Yeah.
And those are things that bring back memories. So that's cool.
Yep.
Like it.
Right.
Love it. Cool. Cary.
Yeah.
It's been good to have you back, man. Were you a little nervous to come back on?
Yeah, I was, because I was like, you kind of want to have a meaningful, a good time here. You want something to like. That was a good story. That was a good story, and so there's a little bit of pressure,
right?
But also, it's just, I like what you guys do. You guys, I like supporting you guys because you guys, dude, you guys do a lot for this community.
Well, we try.
I know you do, and a lot of it's pro bono. So
yeah, I
think I dig that. So we got to support each other. So
we try.
Yeah,
I do want a disclaimer though. I give your wife all kinds of shit. She always tells me, "I heard the podcast. I heard you talking shit, Larry," but it's out of love. I dig Densey.
She knows.
I give her such a hard time, and that's why I like Densey because she says horrible shit back to me. We laugh about it. You know what I mean? It's like you would think we hate each other. You know?
I know. It's an odd couple.
It's an odd couple, but you know what? That's why I just want to say because we gave her a lot of shit today.
Yeah.
Most of it I meant, but we gave her a lot of shit. So because I guarantee she's a little fuming. So, and next year when the football Fort Morgan Brush game,
you're 2-2, huh?
I'm 2-2, man.
I don't know. Next year it's going to be a different story. We got some,
Well, then I'll disappear. That's what's going to happen. I'm sorry. Somebody said Larry Lundstrom's not a coward. Never. But the last time Rush won, I forgot the game played. And Mom's like, Rush did well. I go, who'd they play? Fort Morgan. I go, did they win? She's like, yeah, they won. I go,
yeah. Where's my phone?
Yeah. So
I got things to do.
Yeah. I thought about it for a while before I texted her. I said, man, you really gotta piss her off. You really got.
You did. Yeah, I was there for all of it. God damn it, that Larry. I even seen teeth. Yeah.
I told Rick Stroh, I said, don't let her ever bullshit you. I guarantee there's a 4X Mustang shirt in that household with my name on it, just waiting to be whipped out, just waiting for it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, once again, Cary, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
You have a great day, bud. It's been awesome to see you.
You too, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Adam Vokey.
Hey, we'll catch you next time. Peace.